An idiot. That's the subject of tonight's Real Deal. Now, new and old media alike are buzzing about last week's Scarborough Country segment on the president's mental prowess. In Sunday's Washington Post, Peter Baker wrote this, quote, Bush advisors said that the president's political weakness has encouraged soft supporters and quiet skeptics to speak out. Few have struck a nerve more than Scarborough. Struck a nerve is an understatement. I've been blasted by Republican loyalists for asking whether Linda Ronstadt's description of the president as an idiot was out of line. That question was important not because another Hollywood liberal was blasting Bush, but because conservatives have been doing the same thing privately since the Harriet Miers and Katrina debacles of last fall. Well, and because of the steady roar of Bushisms like these seen daily on late-night TV.
For every fatal shooting, there were roughly 3 non-fatal shootings. And folks, this is unacceptable in America. It's just unacceptable. And we're going to do something about it. We shouldn't fear a world that is more interacted. It was not always a given that the United States and America would have a close relationship. We look forward to hearing your vision so we can more better do our job. Too many good docs are getting out of business. Too many OBGYNs aren't able to practice their love with women all across this country. I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully. You're working hard to put food on your family. They underestimated the compassion of our country. Let me finish my question, please. His hand's going up. I'm kind of getting old and, just getting into my peroration. Look it up.
Look it up. Now, I know the president. He's no idiot. But history's also proven that he doesn't like listening to dissent. He lacks intellectual curiosity, and he inspires fear among allies every time he gets behind a microphone doing a press conference. Now, with Iraq in flames, Iran on the rise, Afghanistan in crisis mode, Hezbollah on ascent, Israel in disarray, and North Korea testing missiles, we got to have a president who projects confidence. Right now, this president is not. I was a conservative when I ran for Congress in 1994. I am a conservative now. I was against big deficits when Bill Clinton was running Washington, and I'm against them now that Republicans are running D.C. I was attacked by sycophants and suck-ups when I dared to criticize Newt Gingrich for backing down on spending reductions and tax cuts when he was Speaker of the House. And I was attacked 2 years ago when I wrote a book that took on big spending Republicans. History proved me right before, and history's going to prove me right again. When in doubt, friends, always choose country over party. And time will prove you did not only what was best for your country, but also did what was best for your party. And that's tonight's Real Deal. Let's now bring in a guy who had to deal with my self-righteous conservative rantings in Congress. He is Terry Holt, a GOP strategist. Terry, I know you know this president. He is no idiot, but he's also no Ronald Reagan. Why does he have so much trouble behind a microphone?
Well, let me just first say, I don't think that everyday Republicans and Democrats would really prefer to have their political debate shot through with profanity and invective and petty insults like the word idiot. To bestow that on the president, I think, demeans the presidency, and I'm not sure it has a place. I think that people will turn off their televisions if they hear that their political debate has devolved to that kind of thing. I think being president is the hardest job in the world. I think giving speeches a year and having to be picked apart by thousands of journalists every day, I'm not sure that anybody in the world would be able to get through a speech or a live interview like I have to do occasionally with you without making a few mistakes. And in this day's world, with the internet and with all of our ability to go in and pull little pieces of this and that out, my goodness, nobody would be able to live under that kind of scrutiny.
Well, Terry, I understand exactly what you're saying, and it is the toughest job in the world, a job that I wouldn't want to have because it is so difficult and you are so picked apart. But Terry, I understand everything you're saying, but I ain't talking about Linda Ronstadt and Michael Moore going after this president. I'm talking about what rank-and-file conservative Republicans have been saying in Washington, D.C. since Katrina,
Well, and
since
I
Harriet
think
Miers,
that's right.
since
There's been...
hold on, I just want to clarify this.
Sure.
That conservatives that are running Washington behind the scenes are saying this about the president.
As
Why?
you said, and I think that with 80-some days left until election, I think we need to quit whining, moaning, and complaining and get out there and fight for what we believe. You know, I want my aggressive president back. I want him, like he did in 2002, to go out and punch a few Democrats in the nose and talk about the nightmare, the policy nightmare that would occur if the Democrats were to take over this government with the higher taxes. We'd stop spying on the terrorists if the Democrats were in charge. We need to lay out the very clear choices that the American people have. But I'll tell you what.
And I understand, Terry. I just got to ask you, though. I want you to confirm, though, that Republicans are saying this quietly behind the scenes, aren't they?
Well, I don't think that it takes too much digging to find people that are unsatisfied with the political state of America at this point. You don't have to be in D.C. to be unhappy with the way things have gone. But in fact, the election is about a choice. It's about a choice between two very different views of the world, between two different sets of policies. And so
I understand that.
Is there an anxiety in America? There certainly is. Is there a budget deficit that's too large? There certainly is. But Joe, in fact, to protect this country, to wage a war on terror, it's been expensive. Conservatives haven't been happy with the spending of this government. I'm not sure that anybody really is. But this new world after 9/11, I don't think anyone would question that we spend as much as is necessary to protect this country.
Well, okay, Terry, I understand that. We're running out of time. We can debate
Can
also
I make a
how much
suggestion
money
to you, Joe?
Terry, you got to let me ask you. Terry, you got to let me ask you this question, because I agree with you on spending money to protect the homeland, but also domestic spending skyrocketed. We have a Medicare prescription drug benefit that's cost us $7 trillion that nobody understands. But getting back to Bush, I want to know, why was the president, you talked about 2002. We all saw him in 2001. You look at clips of him when he was governor of Texas. This guy was confident. He was in charge. He controlled the camera when he was in press conferences. That's not happening now. He seems to be getting worse with time, and that's what's so troubling when he has 2 years left. What's going on?
Yeah, I think, he's got a good gut, and we need the president to follow his gut, get back out on the campaign trail, because, ultimately there's nobody else better at articulating the vision and the inspiration that we need to get back on our feet. Go back to the convention speech in 2004. The last 5 minutes of that speech, if you play it, it will motivate you. It will make you think of Ronald Reagan.
No doubt.
And so, in fact, we do have that in our president, and it is time that we see more of it. But come on, we don't need to call him an idiot. I think that's way out of bounds. And I do, though. You looked great in the Washington Post on Saturday.
I looked great. You're talking about that
I need to see you in the newspaper more often.
That stock MSNBC photo that makes me look
got
like
a great face for the newspaper.
A mortician has gotten a hold of me, and it's absolutely horrible. In fact, after I saw it, I actually told our people,
if I was your press secretary, I'd make sure you had a brand new photo.
Get me a brand new photo that actually makes me look alive. Hey, Terry, thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks, Joe.
I greatly appreciate it. And still to come.